So Quaker meeting for worship, as I've experienced them, comes sort of in two varieties, programmed meetings and unprogrammed meetings. And it's a group of people that come together in community. You sit in silence, and should you be moved by the Spirit to speak, you're welcome to do so.
Well, we do what we call centering down. We sit in quiet, relaxed, try to take the busyness out of our thoughts, try to empty ourselves and open ourselves to whatever might be revealed to us. When you go to Quaker worship, at first, when you're new to it, it's very uncomfortable because you're not used to sitting quietly. Most people have not experienced real silence where you just sit and wait. And you go from that first uncomfortableness to a feeling of welcoming this total peace and the permission to just open yourself to truth. And then, as people feel the need to say something, they rise quietly and say it. And you, as a worshiper, either use that to enlarge upon what your thoughts have been, or you just let it go if it doesn't fit with what you're thinking.
Everybody is, an individual, and we can talk about our experience a little differently, whether it's prayer, praying to a personal God or conversation with a personal God. Other people put lots of different language on it. This experience of meditation, contemplation, prayer, with the universe or energy, whatever it might be. There's a lot of room for that in the meeting for worship. And yet at the same time, it's not that all these individuals are having their own isolated experience. Mm-hmm. We all come together, and I think there's a recognition that we are together.
There's more a depth of the spiritual impact of this on the members because they are together. The fact that we are doing it corporately in loving relation to one another as well as to God means that there is, in my experience at least, a much more likelihood of a really profound experience than I can generally have just by myself.
It was just I felt a very beautiful way in which to begin the process of speaking or of connecting with the higher power, the God, the Creator. There was no interference. And yet there was responsibility, I for myself, to get to a point where I began to either think about the message of that day or think of how that message related to me and my faith. It led to a much more satisfying and deeper thought about my religious journey, my connection.
When people speak, they speak from their own experience, and it's through those experiences and that perspective that I'm often called to consider something in an entirely different way.
I really like to be quiet. I like setting aside some intentional time to just listen, and I feel like that's another thing that has been like emphasized, that I've heard other people emphasizing to me, like as I was growing up, was a focus on like listening, and to like God in you. Prayer being more an act of like listening than talking or like putting something out there. Not, I mean, it's all inclusive, but just there really being an emphasis on being quiet and like allowing kind of like the clutter and the drama to subside for a little while, and really being able to be with yourself and in your center in community.
It gives me an opportunity to shed all the trivia around me and to just be. And so I have a little mantra that I have learned to help me shed all those trivia. It's a little German verse I've made up. Lieber Gott, sei bei mir, dear God, be with me. Und fülle mein Herz mit deiner Liebe. And fill my heart with your love. I just feel like I'm part of a larger reality. It's not about me, it's about me and all the other members of the meeting whom I have known, for so many years, or even new people, in other words, whoever comes in is part of that.
Every once in a while, we experience what we call a gathered meeting. And everybody feels it. You can't define it. But it's a meeting where everyone feels the Spirit moving.
I wrestle with the silence a bit. And yet that's one of the strongest draws for me, is being able to be in community and be in silence is a real gift, but not something that my busy mind can enter into sort of easily sometimes.
I think to give myself grace and to know that it's easy to look around the meeting and everybody's kind of in their own space and thinking that everybody's having this deeply meaningful spiritual experience but me, and knowing that sometimes I think just being in it, just allowing yourself to be in that space, and opening to however and whatever you can in that quiet, that there's value in that, and that pieces, that being there even in a fidgety state is bringing myself and is a part of worship.
It replenishes my sense of who I am and where I'm going. It gives me a sense of purpose, and that's what it's all about.